Go, 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 go! Good day, A, and welcome back to the pickaxeandroll.com Denver Nuggets film room, where we will be looking at Game 38, Denver versus the Utah Jazz. The Nuggets played a great game against the Jazz, and we're going to highlight some of the things they did well, and we were still able to find 2 or 3 things that they need to work on. So let's take a look at our first clip. We've noted before how Allen Iverson is not the best pick and roll passer, and here you're going to see Klayza wide open, and AI is late delivering the pass, which allows Boozer to get back and challenge the shot. AI needs to get that pass off a little bit quicker. There's a couple different things to take note of on this next clip. First of all, Deron Williams is going to make the pass into Boozer from pretty far out, and he's not a threat, which allows Carter to come in and double, which he does right when Boozer starts to make his move and Boozer is no longer able to keep his eye on him. Carter then aggressively pushes the ball up the floor and draws a foul on Williams, and Williams had 2 fouls early on, and he had to sit down for a few minutes. We've talked about the importance of cutting and cutting at the correct time, and here you're going to see Carter's going to drive the baseline, and instead of cutting to the basket and making himself available, Camby stands out there with his hands up hoping for a pass so he can shoot from the top of the circle. All the Nuggets are standing around the perimeter, and AI has to drive in on 5 defenders. That's not going to make for a good offensive play. The Nuggets did a great job of pushing the pace, and part of the reason was because the guards for Utah did a horrible job of getting back. You're going to notice so many times in this game the Nuggets were able to get the ball up the floor, and it was Boozer and Oker who were back, and the guards were nowhere near to be found, and those are the guys that are the best able to stop a fast break. Klayza was very aggressive all night long, and here he's aggressive on a drive, and this situation is almost going to be like Klayza following a fullback through the line, and Camby is going to roll, and Oker is going to be watching Camby. Klayza's going to go right behind him, and there's no one there to help because they're paying attention to Camby. Really good drive by Klayza. It's hard to imagine a team coached by Jerry Sloan to be this bad at defense, but Utah really is a poor defensive team, and you're going to see here no one steps in to stop the drive by Iverson. There's no help whatsoever, and Iverson gets to the basket easy. The Nuggets were in the paint all night long, and the Utah Jazz did not help out on defense. The Nuggets were able to get into the paint almost any time they wanted against the Jazz, but here's a negative byproduct of that fact. Iverson over dribbles. He just stays on the wing, dribbling, and the Jazz are packed in the paint ready to jump him. Because the Jazz are so packed in, Nuggets aren't able to cut and give him a good option to pass to. He does it Camby for the 23-foot 8-inch shot, but that does not make it a good possession. J.R. Smith was great all game long, and here you're going to see him get the ball, push the pace really well, and get to the basket, and he probably should have got a foul called here. But the reason I'm going to show you this clip is Iverson's going to get the pass. He's going to circle around, and instead of making a bounce pass, which would have got Nahara a layup, he tries to feed it directly to Nahara, and that's easily tipped away for a turnover. Kyle Korver really hurt the Nuggets in the second quarter with his outside shooting, and here in a fast break, he's running the wing, and J.R. Smith, who's supposed to be guarding him, instead of staying with them, just stops under the basket, giving Korver a wide open 3. J.R. Smith needs to recognize he has to stay with Korver no matter where he goes, even on a fast break. Here's another example of how the Utah guards allowed the Nuggets to run all night long. Deron Williams was at the 3-point line and should have been getting back as soon as that shot went up. Instead, he's nowhere in the picture as Klayza gets the ball, dunks it, and gets the foul. As the point guard, he's got to get back better in transition defense. Melo had a quiet first half with only 8 points, and here you're going to see in the first possession of the second half for the Nuggets how determined they are to get him going. They're running them off a couple screens. He comes and gets the handoff, and you better believe there's no one else other than Melo that's going to take a shot on this possession. He makes it, and that gets the Nuggets off to a good start in the third quarter. This next sequence is interesting to me because both teams get backdoor cuts, but for different reasons. The Nuggets' philosophy was to play defense inside out, and here Melo is going to think Harpring has taken the screen, and he's not going to worry about going out, and because of that he loses track of when Harpring gets a backdoor cut and the dunk. The Nuggets were playing inside out, so Melo knew when Harpring made his flash out that he wasn't going to have to worry about him. On the other end, the Jazz are playing the passing lanes and trying to deny. Because of that, Oker gets caught too high, and Klayza makes a great backdoor cut and gets a dunk. 2 backdoor cuts for both teams, but because of different defensive philosophies. Here's another example of how the Nuggets really packed the paint and played inside out on defense. You're going to notice Camby laying well off of Boozer on the screen. They're really trying to make sure that the Jazz don't get any of those easy layups that they tend to get on most teams because of their good execution. Camby lays off, Boozer ends up getting that shot, and they're content to give him that shot as opposed to the Jazz getting a lot of easy layups in the paint. Here's another Nuggets fast break basket brought to you by the defensive malaise and indifference of Deron Williams. Carter's going to make a pass and keep cutting to the basket. That's a great cut. Most guards would just stop, and Deron Williams obviously expected him to as well instead of staying with them. Good outlet passing is a key to any transition game, and here you're going to see Camby pass the ball to Carter before he even lands, which gives Carter plenty of time to see the floor and throw it up to Klayza. Carter has been amazing at throwing those passes up the floor, and it shows Camby is committed to the Nuggets running by him making such a quick pass to Carter. Here's another example of the Nuggets pack the paint defensive philosophy. Utah's running the same set to the other side this time with Oker setting the pick instead of Boozer. You're going to see Kleza laying off. The Nuggets are staying back. Williams gets the ball, and Camby and Carter are both there to collapse on him. They get the steal, which results in another fast break layup for the Nuggets. The Nuggets have been burned several times recently due to poor clock management at the end of a quarter. And here you're going to see the Nuggets are just going to start going too quickly. There's 12 seconds left on the clock. Camby gets the ball and decides to try and split the defense with 7 seconds left, actually 8. And only because of poor hands do the Nuggets get the ball back and almost hit a shot at the end of the quarter. Camby has got to hang on to the ball, and really the Nuggets shouldn't start their play that soon. It can be frustrating watching Iverson jump some of the passing lanes in an attempt to get steals and take himself out of the play, but this is just a tremendous instinctual play by Iverson. The Nuggets haven't switched the screen all night, and when Harpring comes around, they're not expecting Iverson to run with him, which he does, and he makes an easy steal. That is just a tremendous defensive instinct by Iverson. The Nuggets played their best team defense of the year in this game, and here's an example of that. Iverson's going to jump the passing lane, but Nahara's going to help out and stop the penetration and still recover out to Oker to keep Oker from shooting. Then he's going to jump Williams off the screen, and when he spins around, Iverson's able to steal the ball, resulting in another fast break dunk for the Nuggets. And you're going to notice J.R. Smith never assume that a fast break layup's going in. He runs the floor and ends up getting the 2 points. In this clip, you're going to see Anthony Carter do what Deron Williams failed to do all night. He's going to get back in transition. He's going to stay as deep as the deepest offensive player, and he really doesn't cause the turnover, but because he's there, he stops the ball penetration, and Deron Williams makes a bad pass. You're going to laugh at this, but the bounce pass is the most underutilized weapon on offense in the league. Watch how Iverson throws this beautiful bounce pass across the court, bounces right at the defender's feet. Because of that, he can't react in time. The Nuggets end up getting a wide open shot. Iverson turned the ball over earlier because he didn't throw a bounce pass, and he seemed to have learned his lesson. Hey Denver, what do you guys think about the Nuggets' victory over the hated Utah Jazz? The Nuggets played with tremendous effort and focus all night long. They executed their defensive philosophy perfectly, and on offense they just proved to be too athletic for the Jazz. The way they ran the fast break was very impressive, and we can only hope the Nuggets keep putting out performances like this for the rest of the season. Once again, thanks for joining us in the PickaxeandRoll.com Denver Nuggets film room. We hope you enjoyed what you saw, and please come back and check us out again.